Welcome to Pause and Play. I'm Jessica. This is your pocket companion, a place to pause, to play, and to find your way back home to yourself. You don't have to do anything, just be here. Guidepost 26. Cultivate Community. Creating circles of care, connection, and collective strength community isn't something you find. It's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. With each inhale, imagine yourself connected to others with kindness, care, shared purpose. With each exhale, release isolation, self-doubt, or fear, and whisper, I plant seeds of community, and let this intention take root. Cultivate community. It doesn't have to be big or loud, it just has to be real. A space where people feel seen, safe, supported, where everyone brings something to the table. Community grows through presence, practice, and participation. So many of us long for deeper connection, but wait for it to arrive fully formed. The truth is, community takes tending. It grows through repeated gestures of care, honesty, and showing up. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be intentional. And this mantra reminds us that we are co-creators, that community is one of the most healing forces on earth. Personal story. After my marriage ended, I found myself emotionally stranded. We had built our own insular bubble, and when it burst, I was left alone. As a newly single parent, the loneliness was thick and disorienting. My kids needed community, and I did too. But letting people in felt really hard. My house was a mess, physically, emotionally. I was exhausted, overwhelmed. My inner perfectionist kept whispering, you have to clean up first. Still, something deeper inside me nudged me to try. But of course, I had to give it a name, something playful and something true. I called it the Messy Open House movement. I sent out invites to neighbors, new friends, people we barely knew in our community, and the rules were simple. Come as you are, leave when you need to, bring something if you want, or don't. Just show up. The first gathering felt really vulnerable. There were dishes in the sink, laundry in baskets, toys on the floor. I almost canceled. But when people arrived, they actually exhaled. They smiled. They said things like, oh, thank goodness, it looks like our house. We stood around a big pot of soup. Someone brought half-melted ice cream. The kids spilled outside or sprawled on the floor. We, the grown-ups, talked. We shared stories. We laughed. It wasn't perfect, and it was so real, and that made it sacred. Over time, it became a rhythm. Pizza in the park nights, themed play days, informal potlucks, front stoop chats. It wasn't about curated moments. It was about showing up in the mess, the joy, the ache, and saying, me too. And that practice changed me. It softened my need to perform. It reminded me that we're wired for connection, that community is not built on perfection, but presence. And when Hurricane Ida hit, when our home was flooded and nearly everything was lost, the same community came back. They brought food and clean clothes and love and presence. They sat with us in our grief and helped us rise from it. People I once invited into my mess came back to hold me in mine. That's the quiet miracle of community. It doesn't always look like grand gestures. Sometimes it's just showing up with soup or a smile or the courage to knock on someone's door. Cultivating community is not about having it all together. It's about having the heart to reach out, to say, you don't have to do life alone. We're not meant to. True community doesn't just make life sweeter, it gives us roots. And when the storm comes, and they will, it's what keeps us from being swept away. Science meets soul. Community is a core element of nervous system regulation. Safe, supportive relationships provide co-regulation, which helps us return to a balanced state more easily. Research shows that belonging and mutual support reduce anxiety, improve emotional resilience, and extend life expectancy. Community is not just emotional support, it's biological safety. We are more disconnected than ever, even when constantly connected virtually. Real community offers something deeper, the chance to be known, to contribute, to belong. Cultivating community means resisting isolation and individualism and building something rooted in care. Try this. Daily practices. Send a check-in text to a friend or neighbor. Invite someone into your routine. Walk, tea, talk. Share your skills or time with a group. Ask for help and receive it openly. Offer to hold space for someone without fixing. Support a local mutual aid or care network. Join a class or circle or group based on shared interests. Be the first to say hi. Create shared rituals, weekly dinners, monthly calls. Learn the names of people in your community. Share stories, not just updates. Let someone witness your truth. Encourage a friend's dream. Offer what you can when you can. Start small, but start. Pause prompts. What does community mean to me? When have I felt truly connected? What gets in the way of community for me? What kind of support do I need right now? What do I long to offer others? Who are my people? And how do I show up for them? Where am I waiting to be invited instead of initiating? How do I want to be remembered in my community? What fears do I have about being known? What values do I want my community to reflect? What's missing from my current sense of belonging? Who is already part of my community, even quietly? How does my nervous system respond to being with others? What would it mean to participate more fully? What's one step I could take to deepen connection today? Community begins in the pause, the moment you choose to reach out rather than retreat. It's in the vulnerable question, the small gesture, the brave yes. The pause is where loneliness starts to shift into belonging. Play prompts. Create a friendship invitation card. Draw your ideal gathering space. Start a community zine or shared journal. Make art together with a friend or group. Host a story circle. Each person shares something true. Doodle a support web and add names or qualities. Design a community flag or shared symbol. Build a collaborative collage. Each person adds a piece. Start a gratitude chain and pass it along. Paint a shared canvas together. Create a connection. Scavenger hunt. Role play, appreciation, mirror back other people's strengths. Design an artful invitation to a community ritual. Photograph moments of connection and create a visual journey. Write a group poem, one line per person. Play is how we build trust. It disarms fear. It lets people come as they are. When we play together, we remember we're on the same team. Play creates the threads that weave community together. integration. Create recurring connection rituals. Build a care calendar for community resources. Host rotating dinners or potlucks. Create a gift circle of skills or offerings. Practice communal decision making. Develop group agreements or values. Reflect together. What are we learning? Use art or story to process shared experiences. Normalize asking for and receiving help. Create safe containers to feedback and repair. Make space for grief and celebration together. Let roles be fluid and mutual. Value consistency over perfection. And remember that community is messy sometimes and totally worth it. You don't have to do it alone. And you don't have to wait for someone else to create it. Community grows through intention, courage, and care. Let yourself be part of the planting and the tending. Art therapy prompts. Draw a visual garden of your community. Collage your dream gathering. Paint a moment of mutual support. Illustrate yourself as part of a circle. Make a group mural or tapestry. Create art using shared objects or symbols. Draw a map of places that connect you to others. Design a communal dream flag. Use fingerprints and handprints in a collaborative piece. Sculpt interlocking forms to represent connection. Make an art altar for your people. Illustrate a shared memory. Create postcards and mail them to community members. Draw the table where all are welcome. Make art that reflects what you offer to the collective. Space for personal exploration. Journal prompt. What kind of community do I want to cultivate? Doodle prompt. Draw your roots and who's connected to them. Collage prompt. Create a visual representation of chosen family or collective care. I help build the world I want to belong to. This affirmation reminds you that you're not separate from your community, you are part of its shaping. Each choice, each connection, each act of care becomes a seed. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Helen Keller. Final thought. Community isn't something you have. It's something you help grow. It's made of care, of courage, of the choice to keep showing up. You're part of something bigger, and your presence makes it stronger. Community invitation. What kind of community are you cultivating? What's one way you're helping it grow? Share your story, and let's remember that connection is a garden, and we are all gardeners. Before you go, I want to recognize what you just did. You showed up, you stayed, you allowed yourself to consider what it means to build connection intentionally. Today we practiced opening to community, and in doing that, you allowed yourself to need others. You loved yourself by no longer expecting yourself to hold everything alone. And every time you do that, your nervous system learns that support is safe to receive. You're leaving this episode differently than when you arrived, because now there's a part of you that reaches instead of withdrawals. And I want you to know, I see you. Carry this with you. You are not meant to do this alone. I'll meet you here again soon. Pause and play.